Happy Friday, Fumble fam. Welcome back to another live show. We have a lot of news to get into today. We have Bronny's top 5 favorite players. We've got some input from LeBron on what the NFL needs to do for Colin Kaepernick. But before we fill you in on all those details, make sure you subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share it with your friends. Now here is your lovely Fumble squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward. Chris.
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K.
Everybody, it's Jackie Ray. You can follow me out everywhere at JRay the Fanatic. Who are you looking at, Chris?
Friday, he's looking at you. Like, I feel like we're.
I know that's what it looked like. I was like, you got something to say to me?
But I'm Britt Johnson. You guys can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson.
I want to say, Chris, that was the first time you didn't seem surprised when I went to you in our introduction. So congratulations.
I never noticed. I'm glad.
It threw me off. I was like, I don't know what to do now. I don't know.
Oh, no, my bad.
We made a lot of progress this week, so that's really good. Before we jump into the need to know news stories, does anybody have any exciting plans for the upcoming weekend? Britt, do you have anything going on?
No, I have nothing happening this weekend. But I'm glad a lot of the rest of the country might not have stuff happening this weekend either, because now Texas is closing kind of, and Florida's closing finally. So welcome to the quarantine life, Texas and Florida.
Right.
We missed you.
Yeah, they kind of got to skip right over that. I feel like now they're having to experience it themselves.
Are we the epicenter now? Are we?
No.
Are we the?
We were the epicenter.
Okay. Just
Us in New York were for a while, right?
But I
Okay,
feel like
just
I
making
can't
sure.
hear anything, and everybody is
Florida's
frozen.
there now. Florida's there now.
Oh, Devin said we're all
Arizona's
frozen for
there,
her.
Texas.
I'm good now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Just want to make sure.
I'm going to take advantage of the non-frozen moment and go into need to know news. So, Jackie, sorry I didn't get to hear about your weekend plans, but I'm afraid we're going to have some glitchiness happen.
I don't
So I'm
have
going to
any.
go right into it. Okay. All right. So Bronny named his top 5 favorite NBA athletes. So we get kind of an unbiased opinion into who he admires in the NBA, because one qualifier for the question was that he could not include his dad. I have the clip for you. So Leo, can you throw the clip up there for us?
Top 5. Okay. Giannis, James Harden,
Damn, 16.
Dame,
Mm-hmm.
AD, KD. Yep.
All right. So Giannis, James Harden, Dame, KD, and AD. It's a pretty solid list. You can't really argue with that list, but people couldn't help but call him out for not including KAWHI and not including Steph. So he later walked back on his statements. When House of Highlights shared this clip, he commented, writing, "Forgot KAWHI." So now I want to know, who is he getting rid of to include KAWHI? But of course, he didn't answer that question yet. But I think it's funny because people did call him out for not including Steph, and he still did not add Steph to his top 5. Okay, so I know that we all are so sick of these lists. We hate these lists so much. But Britt, I want to know, who on his list do you disagree with the most?
Oh, do I disagree with? Well, Dame would be on my list. Giannis would be on my list. I guess I would probably, out of that list, I would probably remove Anthony Davis. I would remove him from my top 5 and replace that with probably Paul George. I mean, his top 5 is a little weird because it's not a 1 through 5, so it's not like, oh, if you could pick, a 1 through 5 on a team, who do you pick? So he's kind of just randomly selecting whatever players he wants. So it's not like a removal. You have to replace it with that same position. So, but I think I would remove AD from that list. And I actually probably wouldn't have James Harden on my personal list, but I would agree more to have James Harden than to have Anthony Davis personally.
All right. I actually want to ask all of you guys that same question. Jackie, who do you disagree with the most on that list? Like, who would you get rid of?
I'm taking KD off because y'all know how I feel about KD.
Oh my gosh, the disrespect.
He got to come off the
I
list.
I
Hey,
think Katie would be on my list though. So yeah.
yeah, I would take KD
Personal
off.
list, okay.
Who would I replace him with? I mean, probably Russell Westbrook. I would replace him with Russell Westbrook.
Okay. Chris, your turn now.
So this is a personal list?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like your 5 favorite,
Oh.
5 that.
Oh,
Wait, no, we got to do our own personal list. I thought we were just doing Bronny's list. I'm all confused.
Because
I don't know.
Yeah, so to
You're right.
answer the question about Bronny, just to keep it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep it easy. Yeah, no, so I think I'm with Britt. I would take off AD and I would flip him with Kawhi Leonard. But I'll keep everybody else. I think everybody else is fine. I'll just flip AD with Kawhi. Just strictly out of Dunmore. That's it.
Out of his list, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. All right, well, that wraps up that need to know news story. So
Yeah,
let's get in. I know, it's interesting to hear. I think when you are the son of I'm going to say the greatest player in the league right now, you probably have a skewed perspective on basketball in general and on like the greatest players because you have personal relationships with some of them. So I'm sure that influences him a little bit. But let's actually talk about Bronny's dad. We're getting into some LeBron James news. So he thinks that the next step for the NFL in the whole NFL Colin Kaepernick thing is for the league to apologize to Colin. We have a clip for you from his interview with Bloomberg Business Week. So Leo, can you put that up there for us?
Locker rooms, I'm not with those guys, but I do understand that an apology, I have not heard a true official apology to Colin Kaepernick on what he was going through and what he was trying to tell the NFL and tell the world about why he was kneeling when he was doing that as a San Francisco 49er. So I just see that to still be wrong. And now they are listening some, but I still think we have not heard that official apology to a man who basically sacrificed everything for the better of this world.
So obviously, as you guys heard, LeBron is calling on the NFL to issue that apology, and we've said that before on our channel that we think they need to apologize. The NFL has been seemingly, I guess, trying to do a better job of listening to their players. In the past, they've really silenced black athletes, and Roger Goodell acknowledged that in his video when he said that the league was, quote, wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier and encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest. So yes, I do believe that the NFL owes Colin an apology, something that's sincere, something that's genuine, but I also don't know if that's enough. And more than that, we've talked about this before too. We don't even know what Colin wants at this point. We've not heard any statement from him about what he would like to see happen in the future. So everybody can be calling on the NFL to do this and to do that and to apologize and do more and offer a job, but what does he want to see happen? So that's, I think, the biggest question for me. And I know, Jackie, when we talked about that was a big question for you. I think we might have all agreed on that one. I can't remember, but Jackie, I want to go to you. How do you feel about what LeBron is saying? Should the NFL issue an apology, or do you think that we need to be kind of done with that whole thing?
I mean, of course they should issue an apology. It won't mean a damn thing, but stay tuned for what we're not going to do because NFL, I seem to feel like you don't have an Olivia Pope on your team, and I have volunteered to write this damn apology for you, so you can just copy and paste it in a statement, and I got you. Bastards, they get on my nerves. Can't.
Okay. We'll be hearing more of your take in what we're not going to do. So then, Chris, let's go to you. What's your latest take on the Colin NFL situation? What do you think about LeBron is saying?
No, I think LeBron's just strictly just using his voice to, talk about it. I think that's really all it is because, yeah, we all said it here. I think we all agree with. I think LeBron James has said it too, but like in tweets and stuff like that. So I think he's just literally just saying it with his mouth so to put some pressure on the NFL. And I'm with that. I have no disagreement. I know we've talked about possibly not wanting to see Cap at this point come back and play because of maybe he might not be entirely ready and that could add pressure and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, I want to see it. my problem with anything when it comes to everything going on right now. It's just I want him to get signed, but then I also question how real the signing actually is, and if it's not just to say, we did it, we signed Colin Kaepernick, we care. Like that's my problem with it. But I'm with LeBron. I think that there's definitely should be an apology, and I'm cool with a team giving him a chance. So I just don't know how real it would be. That's all.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Britt, if the NFL does issue an apology, is that enough, or what more would you like to see happen?
I mean, like I said before, I don't know, because it's Colin's decision what he wants to see. Like my opinion personally is doesn't really matter in this situation, because that's like literally somebody hitting Jackie in the face and then asking me like, well, Britt, how should I apologize? Or is that enough if I just said sorry to Jackie? Oh no, ask Jackie. You punched her in the face, not me.
Yeah.
So like, I just feel like
and live to tell about it. Yeah. So yeah, let's circle back to that. No.
Granted, you would probably get punched back in the face by Jackie, so maybe she would have to end up apologizing to you for beating your ass, but that's all.
Right.
So as far as that goes, I mean, I have nothing of value to add because it doesn't matter what I think. So
yeah,
right. Well, since we're not getting any
no.
think about the different options and what we personally would like to see happen. But I think that it is about time for Colin to speak up and say, what he's hoping for the future. Let's get into the final news story. The NBA, I am having a very bad echo and a very bad time on the live right now. I'm sorry.
It's like this Friday. This is a weird Friday. Freaky Friday right now.
Heaven must have a conspiracy that she's going to tell us in this third story, because
there's something. Right.
There's echoes. There's
something. You know
get
what?
It out, Debbie, before they come for you.
Right. I might have a bit of a conspiracy, but I don't know what's going on, you guys. If I seem weird, it's because everyone sounds like a robot to me, and I hear a lot of echoes. So whatever, I'm ignoring it. Let's jump in. The NBA has decided to modify its dress code for the remainder of the 2019-2020 season. Players will not be required to wear a sport coat on the bench, and they can wear short or long sleeve polos instead. Coaches can wear business attire or polos as long as they are uniformly dressed. And normally when NBA players aren't active, they're required to wear sports coats on the bench. But with no fans at the games, there won't be a need for that strict dress code anymore. I was noticing on Twitter that a lot of people were talking about this news and saying how it's an interesting development, considering that the dress code, which was implemented back in 2005, was largely thought to be targeting Black players. Players that like to wear baggy clothes and chains or medallions were suddenly forced to wear conservative attire, and their self-expression was shut down. So over the years, I think it has gotten a little bit less strict. We've seen, Kyle Kuzma roll up in his outfits and stuff like that aren't necessarily these like super cut and dry suits and all of that, but there still is a limit to what they can do. So I think it's interesting that they've decided to kind of walk back on the dress code in the current social and political climate, but they also say that it's because of coronavirus and because there's no fans in the stands. So Chris, just because I think you might have a funny answer for this one, I want to go to you for this first question. Who do you think is going to really capitalize on this loosened up dress code? I might have given away who I think is going to be doing that, but who do you think is going to be capitalizing on it?
That is such a good question. Who's gonna loosen? I still feel like the players are still gonna wild down on it. So I guess I think Kawhi Leonard. I think Kawhi Leonard is going to take this serious. My man's going to come straight from his bubble in PJs, get to the gym, play his game, and go back home in PJs. So I think Kawhi Leonard might probably be the one that's just going to be like, I don't have to wear clothes. Okay. Then he goes and plays his basketball. And goes back
Britt
home.
does laugh better than anybody. You tried, though.
I can see it.
Okay, wait. Because now you've heard that, Britt, can you do the Kawhi laugh for us, please?
Nope.
Come on, Britt. Nobody does it like you.
He said, nope.
Nope.
It's a compliment.
I'm not a freaking clown. I don't just Here,
Do the thing.
Come on, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing.
Maybe it'll pop up later in the show, just naturally. So, Britt, I want to go to you for the next question. Do you feel like this move to loosen up the dress code is long overdue, and will it stick into next season, or have athletes been finding ways to bend the rules of the dress code all along so people can express themselves more?
I mean, look at Russell Westbrook. He is the number one crazy dresser in the NBA. He's come with like literally a photograph, like I'm a photographer, like little vest on. Like he's done the most. Obviously, Allen Iverson was the first one to be like, I'm just wearing whatever I want to wear, so you can find me every single game if you want to. But I like them in suits. I think they look so handsome when they have their suits on and they look nice. And I even remember the days back in the NFL where all the NFL coaches would dress like Tom Landry and wear like nice suits and stuff on the sidelines. And now they all look like Bill Belichick with like some dirty shirt on and like some messed up pants. I don't like it. I like when the players and coaches and everybody dress up. I think it just looks nice, you know, like, and some of them don't know how to dress very well. So I would like to see them dress better, you know, but obviously and it's different when they're coming through before the game, because obviously the NFL players, they have to always and stuff coming in, but the rules for this basically just changed when they're on the bench, which I thought was weird because we will still see them because they're on the bench. So the games are going to be televised. So I didn't understand why they said, oh, well, because there's no fans in the stands, we're changing, like the guys that have to sit on the bench don't have to wear a suit anymore. But we still see them because the game is like televised still. So I was confused why they even used the coronavirus as an excuse because no fans being in the stands, because we'll still see those players. Like really the issue is when the players are coming in and then they're walking in and all the camera people are taking a picture before they go to the press room and do a press conference or whatever. But I don't know. I like when they dress nice. I really do. I like seeing them in their suits and stuff. And Kyle actually be suited and booted on the sidelines. Like when he's not playing, he has his blazer on with his turtleneck and his necklace on. So I'm here for that. I like that look.
I feel like we'll get some like hot pink polo or something from Kyle, just to because he likes to have fun with fashion, as we've seen on his Instagram throughout this quarantine.
Yeah. That's a very nice way to put it.
Having fun with it, yes. I would just like to know he has no style.
You're right. And then we'll have fun with talking about it. So whatever works.
Talk about it on Fumble.
Exactly.
We do love talking about it. Okay, Jackie, this final question. Do you believe that the dress code from 2005 was racially motivated? And if so, does loosening up the standards now allow for more self-expression on the bench?
I mean, I think it definitely was. I know the NBA doesn't want to say it was racially motivated, but I distinctly remember reading an article said that they didn't want the NFL to, I forget how it was worded, but the word thug was in there. They didn't want the NBA to have a thuggish appearance. And we know, at least maybe y'all don't know, but if you don't know, let me clue you in that, especially in news, the thug word is just the new N word. They always use that for us. So that I took that, as a direct sign as that's what they wanted to do. But, the NBA is probably, again, one of those more forward thinking kind of organizations. And at some point you got to say, why are we forcing people to wear things that they may or may not be comfortable in? Especially when a lot of them are like you said, they're just cool to wear. Like, I'll take the fine. I'm gonna wear whatever the hell I want to wear anyway. So why make this rule anyway? So I'm good with them loosening it up. And I definitely think it's a step away from that whole, we don't want the NBA to look like thugs thing that they did before, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. And they all wear tight ass pants now anyway, so
right. I'm pro gray sweatpants, but that's just me.
The players on the bench once the bubble starts up at the end of next month. All right, you guys. Well, before we get into the post up, for those of you who may not know, the Fumble Squad is working to raise money for the Equal Justice Initiative. It's an incredible nonprofit organization that provides legal representation to prisoners who may have been wrongly convicted of crimes, poor prisoners without effective representation, and others who may have been denied a fair trial. For the next several weeks, we'll be amplifying our voices here on the Fumble Live and sharing with you some of the very many stories of wrongly convicted athletes, activists, and people alike in an effort to shed some light on something that's happening in our country every single day. Some of the stories you might already know, others might be new to you, but they'll all show you how unfair our justice system can be. We'll be telling you about a different person each day, along with various videos sprinkled throughout the week where you'll hear even more about the Equal Justice Initiative and all of the amazing work that they do. So today I want to tell you about Alfonso Beatty and Justin Browning. So in 2014, a white University of Findlay student accused two black athletes of sexually assaulting her. The university expelled the two men, Alfonso and Justin. One was a basketball player, the other a football player, without interviewing witnesses who would have contradicted the accusation. There are many witnesses and friends of the accuser who claim the encounter was entirely consensual and that she had admitted that she was a willing participant and was even bragging about it. But then 10 days later, she seemed to have a change of heart, possibly because she felt slut-shamed. We're not really sure what happened there, so she filed that complaint. And within 24 hours, the two students were expelled. Investigators specifically avoided talking to the black individuals who were present in the home during the time of the encounter because they presumed that they would stick up for the two men. In the years since Alfonso's expulsion, he's tried repeatedly to enroll in other college, and despite there being interest there, many schools refused to take him on due to the sexual misconduct allegations, and the NCAA would have to reverse their decision on his eligibility. He also sued, the two students sued the girl and the school. It was just a terrible incident. It was a biased investigation. There was a false accusation, and it ended up ruining his basketball career, and it's something that'll follow him for life, Alfonso for life. So this is just one of the many stories that we'll be sharing with you throughout the coming weeks. If you want to be part of the movement, there is a donation link below where you can send donations directly to the fund. Anything helps, and we're so glad that we can share this awesome opportunity to donate with you guys. If you want to learn more about the Equal Justice Initiative, you can visit their website at eji.org. And also, as a reminder, any super chats that you give us throughout our live shows over the next several weeks will also go to the Equal Justice Initiative. So this is a great way to get involved while still getting all your sports news, because we'll be here Monday through Friday telling you everything that's going on with the NBA and the NFL, and you can also learn about Equal Justice Initiative. So thank you so much, you guys. We're excited to be partnering with them. And now Chris is going to fill you in on what's happening in the world of social media.
Well done, well done. It's time for Post Up with your boy Chris, Quarantine Edition. And yes, please donate. It is very simple to do. Super chats right there. Also, you can click over on the link. Appreciate that, and great stuff from Devin. Time to post up. First and foremost, we are starting up with Lou Williams. The pictures were slowly trickling around the internet after the FBI released a statement saying that it wasn't in fact a hate crime. I'm talking about Bubba Wallace and the noose situation, and like I said, the pictures were starting to show up around the internet. It was eventually posted by Marty Smith of ESPN yesterday on Twitter, and we've seen a lot of people responding to it. I saw it, and like many who have seen it, it looks like a very blatantly made noose. It was no accidental loop looking like it was supposed to be. No, that was a definite noose that was created regardless of the timeline of it. And a lot of people are still thinking that this entire thing is it's got to be racially driven, regardless if it was done late last year or if it was done recently right now. And one of those people that were addressing it was Lou Williams of the Los Angeles Clippers, who saw this, and he just simply responded saying, "Looks real noosey to me." And I feel like that, obviously, because when we first initially heard this story, I was thinking it was, somebody, obviously we all thought it was the hate crime. I thought that somebody had, tied a loop or something like that to, make it into a noose like knot or something like that to, you know, to spread hate over to Bubba Wallace. And we find out that that wasn't the case. But then still seeing this, I don't understand in what situation you need that kind of knot for a garage door. That is beyond me. Maybe maybe I've had clickers and garage doors for my whole life. I mean, we even use like the handle on garage. Even if you're just using a rope, I've never seen a noose tie for a garage door. So it's just all still more and more suspicious, even with the reports coming out from the FBI. I'm not completely sold on that, but I want to bring it to you, Britt, because we were talking about this yesterday, and you were the one that enlightened me on a lot of other things that I didn't really entirely know until after the fact and I had to look it up. So just seeing this and seeing Lou Williams' response and, you know, with the FBI saying what they said about the timeline of the whole thing, do you agree with Lou that regardless of the timeline, that this in some way, shape, or form, whether it was, you know, supposed to be for Bubba or whoever it may be within the system, do you think that this was definitely a hate crime regardless of the timeline of when it happened?
That's exactly what I said like yesterday. I was like, I don't care if it was done in October, September. I don't care if it was done 10 years ago. It was done with the intention to be a noose, and that is a hate crime. It doesn't matter if it was directed at a certain person. It doesn't matter if somebody thought it was like some kind of joke. It's funny. Anytime, like I've seen stories about kids just making one in class. They didn't necessarily make one for like a certain person in the class, but they made one, a teacher found it, and the kids got expelled from the school. You cannot do that. That is not okay. Like, you can't just start drawing swastikas on something and be like, well, I didn't have it. I wasn't showing it to somebody else. I was just drawing. That's still racist. It's still wrong. You're still not supposed to do that. And these are grown men that are in these garages, and they exactly what they were doing. Maybe it was a time. I mean, Bubba Wallace has been in NASCAR for a while, so I'm sure they thought at some point it could have been directed to him still, because they could have been like, well, at some point he's gonna be here at Talladega, and he's going to maybe be here and maybe see this or maybe whatever. Like, either way, it's a hate crime. I said what I said. I'm sticking to that. I don't care. Like, the FBI is wrong on not saying it was not a hate crime, because that is exactly what it was.
Yeah, it's direct. Yeah, it's 100% directed to somebody. And like you said, like, just because people are now learning about Bubba Wallace doesn't mean that Bubba Wallace just started racing. Bubba Wallace been racing, you know. So you never know if this was something that was
never win when he did the truck thing too. Like, he's been racing for a minute.
Exactly. So it's all becoming even more and more fishy, and I hope that we're not just NASCAR is not just settling with this FBI report and then calling it and not moving on to the next thing, because this is way more than what it's being shown out to be. But anyways, moving on to the next one. This one is I wouldn't call it a challenge. I saw that Bleacher Report called it a challenge. It's not a challenge. It's really more of a meme, a popular trend that's going on with TikTok right now. And I'm all about it. I think it's hilarious. But you guys in the chat, or you guys here in the football panel, have you guys seen the videos of the jokes where you put one thing, add it to another thing, and then you make one thing, and then everyone yells and they're like, "Oh, don't leave me!" Those kind of videos. Those things have been hilarious. I've been loving them on Twitter. TikToks have been pretty funny too. IG, some good ones over there. But Giannis Antetokounmpo, as he has been this entire quarantine, he's sticking with whatever the trend is, and he is posting his version of it. And I thought his was actually pretty good. So here's his version of the "Don't Leave Me" video on TikTok. If we can get that video up.
Hey, bro, you got something to tell me?
Me?
Yeah, or
Okay. What is this May show? With this blondie. He said, "I got the best of both worlds." What was the name?
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana.
Word.
You take Hannah Montana, you put her in France. What you have?
What do you have?
French Montana.
Don't leave me. Take me with you. Don't leave me.
My only problem with the video is great. These are great. I feel like Giannis killed it with that one. That's another good one. My only problem is the baby deer run at the end. You are a professional athlete. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how small the quarters are in your house. But the runaway killed the whole entire video for me, because he looked like he didn't know he was going to go. He was running like, He had
had
socks on, you
you
said?
don't want to slip.
Ah, look,
Yeah,
look,
you want to
prepare
slip.
yourself.
You know how floors, you don't want to be slipping inside and fall on your ass trying to make this
Look,
video.
Yeah.
You want to
Especially
be
that big.
careful,
That's
okay?
true. Bucks would be very upset
Especially when
about
you
that.
have
I don't know.
basketball to go back and play in a couple
Yeah,
weeks.
right, and play. I don't know that run. That's that I saw. I laughed, and then I laughed even harder because I saw him running away like he was looking like Bambi in the beginning of the movie. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on, y'all? But yeah, no, I've been loving them. So if you guys have not been seen, I'm sure I'm seeing the chat. Yeah, some of you guys seen these. If you have not seen these, you need to go and watch them. There's a lot of good ones online. There's people, putting a game on a boy. This is a Game Boy, and then it's hilarious. It's great stuff. So I love that. Love this meme that's going on right now. It's not going to last very long though because it's already getting outplayed. That being said, moving on to the next one, the NBA. We were talking about them changing up their dress code, being a little bit more lenient going into the continuation of the league in Orlando. They're also beefing up their security a little bit, as to be expected, because they're going to be making sure nobody comes in and out of the bubble that shouldn't be going in and out of the bubble, or nobody should be going in the bubble if you aren't already in and whatnot. There was the initial tweet talking about that said the NBA shared with players they will use local, state, and federal law enforcement plus former special operation forces to secure the bubble in Orlando, league sources told ESPN. So yeah, to be expected. They're going to beef with the security as they should. That makes sense. I get that. But here's the part that got a lot of people looking at it like, wait a minute, what? They're going to be paying very close attention, and they're going to be monitoring the players and everybody within the bubble social media. Kevin Durant, luckily you injured, so I guess you won't be playing, so I guess you're not too worried about that. But they're going to be keeping a very close eye on social media. Tim continued off that last tweet by tweeting again, saying, in addition, social media networks will be monitored by Walt Disney Security, NBA Global Security, and the Department of Homeland Security for potential threats and will share intelligence. So my question,
Homeland Security.
That's what I'm saying. I read this and I'm like, whoa, what do you expect? I don't understand what
they ain't got nothing else to do. No nation safeties they need to be concerned about. No
worried about
Russian nothing.
But here's my thing. I'm gonna play the role of Jackie Ray. So here's my devil advocate. Maybe you don't think that maybe they're just playing it super safe because they know what the situation is, being that they're playing in Florida. Or you still think it's just whack?
Are they voting? Because I don't think there's a vote happening. So no one's voting. There's not going to be any voter fraud. I need Homeland Security to do something else with their life. This is stupid.
Yeah. It's stupid. It makes no sense. Like I understand. I don't understand. I was even going to say I understand if you have to why. I don't know.
Who's head of Homeland Security, and is she dating anyone within the NBA? Then maybe that explains, because Homeland Security is going to be the one that's speaking in them side chicks. That's the only way this makes sense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we need to do a deep dive. That is a scenario I didn't even think about, and that might be it. That might be it. We might be having some canoodling going on. Adam Silver, what's going on, champ? Like, what's happening? I don't know. Yeah, to me, it's just way too over the top, way too extra. I think a simple fact where the teams each have their own reps monitoring their own players is more than enough security that the players need for social media. Right. All this is over the top. And when the Homeland Security is crazy too, but when I saw that Walt Disney Security, I'm like, oh no, they all under Mickey Mouse's eye too. Yeah, this is way too much. Way too much going on. Yeah. Yeah, nah, I'm not a fan. Yeah, Mickey, look, he might be all fun and cute for the kids and whatnot, but this man, look, let me tell you, like he's building an empire. I don't know. I'm scared with that, but okay, NBA, we'll see how that goes. That's extra to me. Whatever. I see what you're saying, Tim. Now, I'm gonna take a quick break because this next one, I don't know what much to say about this next one. It's just James Harden and Lil Baby driving Lamborghinis together. That's about it. There's nothing else about that. It's just James Harden out there living his best life before going out and playing in the same Orlando, and he's out there with Lil Baby. As you see Lil Baby riding their Lambos and they squatting out. James Harden living it up, and they having a good time. Right before going over to Orlando to play some games. Say what?
They're social distancing. That's good.
They sure are. They are.
Miami, so
Lambo distancing. So yeah, I mean, you can't break no rules. He's having fun. They doing the thing in Houston as to be expected, before he goes out to Orlando. So I think this is dope. Have fun with it, James Harden. And what I was doing though, I was like looking real closely. I'm like, how skinny you looking at Lamborghini? Because remember we saw the pictures of him working out.
Right.
He came back looking like Kevin Durant himself with the beard. So I'm like, yo, let me see but you can really tell. So, but yeah, so having a good time with that. Go ahead, James Harden. Go ahead, little baby. Cool. Now this next one is it's another story that we've, especially with the protests and with everything going on right now, this movement going on right now, we've been hearing these kind of stories a lot more, but it comes from like people's situations within the past. But while this movement is happening right now, we're still having people have run-ins where they are being discriminated in public, especially when we just opened up all these different stores, and with everything going on, people are still facing these problems. And for those who are just looking at these things and trying to, I feel like I have to keep preaching this. If you're still trying to figure out what the hell is going on, Drew Brees, just open your eyes and just go on social media, and you can see a billion different situations. And you know what? Let me help you out. I don't mean to completely attack Drew Brees, but he still hurt my feelings with the fact that he is one of the people that came out and obviously seems so oblivious of what's going on. Look within your own league, because Darius Leonard, excuse me, God, I lost your name, Darius Leonard of the Colts, linebacker. He just posted a video on Twitter of an instance that he just had at a Chipotle that finally opened up in his hometown of South Carolina, and he shared a story about him going to Chipotle with some of his family. They were sitting there minding their business, eating, and I almost, it's not even a fan, but a person who was in the Chipotle with them went and dropped a lie to the manager saying that him and his family were bothering him and harassing him and whatnot. The manager came over with all the authority in the world in his mind, and he had no problem kicking him and his family out of the Chipotle off of a lie said by this other person within the Chipotle. And what adds salt to the wound was, as they were leaving, like it was some sort of cartoon or some movie or some TV show, you could see the dude that told the lie. This is a lie, ladies and gentlemen, to the manager, sitting at his table, eating his burrito, snickering and laughing while they were all being escorted out of the Chipotle. Crazy. But he also went on, and I feel like that story is sad and crazy enough, but I feel like this part of the video is the part I really want him to say with his own words and him to share. So I'm actually going to play the another part of the same video right here. If we can get that video up by Darius Leonard, please, Leo.
Eating anymore, and we're talking about Black Lives Matter, and for the guy to look at us and lie and laugh in our face as we walk out, and the manager Scott Huey come up here and just just basically kicked us out of Chipotle, and we felt like it was very, very disrespectful. And that's the white privilege that we're talking about. There's no black guy can sit there and eat peacefully without being racial profiled. And we know that if that manager would have called the cops right then and there, we know that what would have went down. And it's wrong in America. And y'all wonder why all the protests and all that stuff is going on right now. We are tired of this. We are tired of it. And y'all white people, y'all don't understand what we go through. This is very frustrating. Very frustrating. Y'all don't feel our damn pain.
And that's the thing, like, you're hearing this from everybody. And I think what's so important about this is, we're hearing all these stories from everybody, but then you're hearing a story from somebody who you think, because this is the argument you're hearing, you're making millions, you're a millionaire, you're an athlete, so why are you crying? Stop whining. We're seeing Donovan Mitchell getting flat back from that, and, tons of other athletes with this. But this is why, because regardless of how much money you're making, regardless of how much notoriety you have, at the end of the day, you're still a black man, and it doesn't matter where you are, you're still going to be treated like unfortunately in this normal to people like this damn manager and people like that dude. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm more entitled than you. Get out of my restaurant. So it's one of those things where, this is just when I hear and I think this is why I just keep going back to Drew Brees, because then you hear the ignorance coming from people, left and right, and people who are with it, that play for teams and are in workplaces where they are surrounded by black people, and they still are so blinded by everything. It it irks the hell out of me. So I think for Darius to share that, it was very important. It's another story that you just hear and you're just like pissed off about it. But it's important for that story to go out because, like I said, there's just still so much ignorance going on within all of this that's happening right now. I don't really have any questions for that. I just, that's something I really glad that he shared and I wanted to share here because it's not right. And we need to, for people to speak out, tell their stories in situations like this. You gotta let it be known because people are just so oblivious. That being said, I will end on a lighter note, going to you, Jackie, and this one is going to the 2K world. NBA 2K21 is on its way. I am excited. I'm looking forward to it, even though 2K20 was hum-ho, but still I'm excited for a basketball game. And they're taking a different technique on how they're going to advertise the game this year. Now, obviously, TikTok is is predominantly it's watched by a lot of people now, but the main audience on TikTok are younger audiences, and I feel like 2K knows what they're doing when they got Anthony Davis, who is not really social, not saying he's not social, but not really on social media, to film a TikTok for them to promote the next 3 upcoming days where they will be announcing who is going to be the 3 cover athletes for NBA 2K21. They dropped this TikTok. We can't play the music, but we have this TikTok where he's out there promoting or showing the days that we should be looking forward to for the cover release. So the only reason why we're bringing this up is because is this clever? Because obviously you can put it on TV, which it probably will be, put it on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. But they solely made a TikTok video and then shared this TikTok video on all the other social media. So my question, I'm gonna go to you, Devin. My question is, do you feel like for 2K to go to TikTok and to try and appeal to that audience, do you think that is actually a smart marketing move from NBA 2K rather than just going to YouTube and Twitter like they normally would do?
Ooh, that's a good question. When I'm on TikTok scrolling around, it's a lot of 14-year-old girls, and I don't know that they're going to be the target audience to buy or play any video games at all. But I think if they want to capitalize on a new market, sure. We do see a lot of these NBA athletes who have built their big followings on TikTok, so maybe there is more of an audience for that than I'm realizing. I think it doesn't hurt for them to advertise on there, but they should also be advertising on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook as well. But I support all brands getting on TikTok. I think it's a cool concept.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you. I was wondering how you think, but you're right, and I think the majority, like you said, are those the younger girls that are on TikTok and stuff like that. I feel like there's a lot of little dudes that are on there too that are just. Gosh, but I don't know. The fan base on TikTok to me it baffles me and it blows my mind. So I feel like that's the thought process I had. I'm like, all right, you're gonna try to appeal to the younger generation and do what you got to do. 2K, whatever. But we'll see if it works. I don't know. I think people are gonna. Basketball is basketball. It's the only basketball video game that's be coming out. I feel like they can do whatever they want at this point. Just make the game better. But hey, do what you gotta do, NBA 2K. But as far as post up, that's it for me. I'm all post up out.
All right, Jackie. Yeah. Post.
Sure.
Okay, Jackie. So I have a question. What we not gonna do?
Chris, the face.
I'm feeling it. I'm going with the notes.
Chris be a whole meme every single day, and I am so here for it, y'all. Okay, so look. What we not going to do is believe a damn thing that the NFL says, especially regarding Colin Kaepernick. So NFL, I need you to listen to me because I promised y'all I was going to write an apology for you. And I did. So this is what I would say if I was the Olivia Pope of the NFL. I would say, we, the NFL, got it wrong. While the world is just now opening its eyes to the injustices that face the Black community, we should have known better. We should have known because Colin Kaepernick tried to peacefully tell us. Instead of listening, we willfully turned a blind eye and made his protest about a song and a flag instead of the lives of our fellow Americans that are continuously affected by racism in this country. We were wrong, and though it is long overdue, Colin Kaepernick, we apologize for how we treated you when you were trying to make us better. We can do better. We are listening now, and we will do better together. Boom. Drop the mic. everyone will love you.
Drop
I won't buy
right.
it. But at least, and look, y'all don't even have to give me credit. Don't pay me nothing. Copy and paste it. Tell Bleacher Report that instead of telling Bleacher Report that there are more than one teams that legitimately have an interest in Colin Kaepernick. You look ridiculous. I am so over them continuously saying this. How many times have we heard this? Colin Kaepernick is going to be 50 years old and the NFL is going to be talking about there's teams that have an interest in rehiring him. Chris, I have to go to you on this one. How many times is the NFL going to do this? Is this their way of apologizing? Like just saying, hey, we still have interest in him. Is that their version of an apology or what's really going on right now?
That is the most slap in the face apology if it is their version of apology. I genuinely have no idea why they feel like making these reports talking about, there's teams that have interest, Cap. Just keep your head up. Like, to me, that's such a whack. If it is their apology, I feel like it's so whack. I said this when we talked about Pete Carroll, like, where they had the whole like, oh, we almost got you. Miss me with that. Like, if you're gonna be about that action, then okay, then let's see it. I'm tired of all the words and stuff like that, and I feel like it's it's just all whack to me. Just sign them or don't sign them. Don't play with them like this. It's stupid.
So while I do think, even though, like I said, I wouldn't believe it, and I'm not going to buy it for a second, I do
either.
think the NFL they should apologize. However, from a legal standpoint, since they did pay Colin Kaepernick that money in that collusion case, I'm sure there's not an NDA agreement there. If they apologize, aren't they basically conceding to the fact that they colluded? So can they apologize?
That's such a, what? That is even, see, that makes it even worse because you're so right. Yeah, no, I don't think they can. Like, because they are admitting that they colluded. Yeah, you're right. So that's what I'm saying. So like that even more makes I stand by my point even more because of that, because now they are trying to backtrack on themselves when they already told on themselves when they put money in his pocket because of they were wrongfully treating Colin Kaepernick. So you're so right on this. So this is what I'm talking about. It's just like NFL is just like they love to just dig themselves a hole every time they have an opportunity to get themselves out of it, and that is a perfect example right there. I didn't even think about that.
Yep. All right. So even though we're not going to get that irrelevant apology, let's move on to other irrelevant statements. Kevin Durant. As you guys know, I'm not a big fan of KD. I actually love his burner accounts, but not a huge fan. Now, you guys know he's been out since he ruptured his Achilles before he abandoned Golden State in the finals. No one expected him to play this season. However, the GM, Sean Marks, did hint that maybe because of the coronavirus and us having this long delay that he might return. He said that back in May, but I think we all knew he wasn't going to come back. But now KD is using the pandemic to confirm it. He told Chris Wright of Dog Talk 101, he said, quote, I feel me right now probably wouldn't have played because the unknowns going into the situation look crazy right now. Seeing so many new cases, it's just so unpredictable. It's easy for me to say right now because I'm injured. I probably wouldn't went down there. Okay. Now, to be fair, KD was one of the four people that tested positive for COVID-19 with the Nets, so maybe he's gun shy, but kind of think this point is just sort of irrelevant. But Devin, what do you think? Do you think that this coulda, shoulda, woulda comment was necessary? Did he have to let us know he's not going to play?
No, it was not necessary at all. And I think it's easy for these players like Kyrie and like KD who aren't playing to say like, yeah, I wouldn't have gone. I also think if KD did come out and say like, oh yeah, I for sure would have been there if I was playing, I think it's a great idea. That would also be him kind of like, I don't know, going against Kyrie, which is probably not something that he wants to do. But I don't think, right? Yeah, so I don't think it was necessary at all. I think this was more about showing his alliance with Kyrie than it was about, really being about whether or not he was going to play. But it's easy for him to say he wouldn't have gone when he wasn't ever going to be there anyway. Not necessary.
Yes, I didn't even think of that. But if he's trying to show his alliance to Kyrie, I don't know, maybe put Kyrie's name in there and say, I understand what Kyrie is saying because of blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Katie gets no pass for me on this one, but, I don't think he should play, even though I kind of said that maybe he would. I don't think he should play. He should take this time to heal, and I just don't think he needed to tell us about it. But you be you, KD. Chris, how you feeling? Now, Devin's been showing you up. You going to hit some new notes today or no? It's Friday. Can you hit some new notes? Let's see.
Here's the
Let's
thing,
see.
man.
Let your
Look. No.
let your mind
I'm keeping.
wander.
Look. The show, the Brits Take host wants to keep it OG, so I'm keeping it OG like that. I'm just out here
Okay.
doing my job. You know what I'm talking about?
All
So,
right. You're right. You're right.
you know what I'm
You're
talking.
right.
Yeah, you see
Don't
what I'm
catch
saying?
these hands.
So
All right. But
exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's right.
shoulders
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Because now it's time for Brits Takes.
Brits Takes.
Thank you, Chris, because I kind of gave a little side eye. You couldn't see me on camera, but when I was like,
See?
so we're gonna actually have a fumble first today. I'll go into the story a little bit, and then I'll tell you what's a Brits take first, because you might not ever see this again. So everybody watch very closely, pay very close attention, listen to anything I say today, because this is not going to happen again. Screen record, whatever you got to do, take a picture. I don't know, but this is going to be a fumble first for me. So Tom Brady is actually criticized for continuing to work out with his teammates during COVID-19 after the NFLPA advised players to avoid practicing together. Leo, if you want to throw up that shot. So Tom Brady posted this on his social media saying, only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And he posted that after the NFL had said, like, oh, you guys shouldn't be practicing together. And so clearly he's showing that I just left practice right now. I'm drinking my water and I ain't scared of nothing. So he posted that. Since then, he has gotten so much criticism for it. And the group that he has of players practicing, which Mike Evans actually joined yesterday, is called The Bunch. It's just him and some of his teammates. Gronk's in it too. And they kind of have just been, working out together, whatever the case is. There was like literally a helicopter that flew by yesterday and took a video of the team or the players that were working out with Tom Brady. And it's just a big disaster now. Everybody's so pissed off that Tom Brady has decided to start this brunch group. And even though the NFL and the NFLPA said, no, please do not work out together, Tom Brady's like, well, this is what I'm going to do. So the chief medical officer for the NFL, Adam Sills, actually said this after Brady's post, talking about the players. He said, they'll also share the same responsibility to each other, which means that everyone is going to be dependent on each other, every member of the team's environment, to do what's the very best so they can implement these measures and keep themselves and their household members as so he basically was like, why are they doing this? He said a bunch of other stuff, but it was basically like, why are they doing this? This is actually going to harm the season, because we could possibly not have a season if too many players test positive or whatever. So he said that what Tom Brady was doing was actually very irresponsible, especially due to the spike that's currently happening in Florida. Florida, as we know, the last couple of days is kind of shut down. They've had a huge spike in numbers. And it's kind of scary out there right now. Yesterday in the United States, we had our highest case ever. 40,000 people tested positive for COVID-19 just yesterday alone. So it is kind of crazy in certain areas. I talked about it before the show. Texas is finally halfway shutting down. They shut down their bars. Their restaurants are now going to be at 50% occupancy. So Tom Brady bringing this group together is like angering a lot of people, because they're like, we told you guys not to work out together. But I mean, I don't know if you guys know anything about football, but a quarterback needs to learn to throw to his receivers. Like, it's just there's certain positions maybe in the NFL where you could work out a little longer and be isolated longer than maybe the rest of the team. But Tom Brady just getting into that situation with the Bucks, like, he has to learn his receivers and start working out with them. And that's really all he's working out with is the receivers and tight ends. So for the first time ever, I am sticking up for Tom Brady today. I agree with what Tom Brady's doing, because I believe Tom Brady is a leader. He has won 6 Super Bowls, and guess what? When you're in a position to be like that and you've won these Super Bowls and you've done all this kind of stuff, that's your mentality. Your mentality is to win and to do whatever it takes to win. Like, no true champion is going to sit there and be like, well, they said, let's not work out, so I'm just not going to work out. No, they're going to find a way. They're going to figure it out, and they're going to actually do it at all costs. Like, look at MJ when he had the flu game, or food poisoning game, as we know it is now, when he broke his foot and continued to go out there and play. If you are a true leader and you are a true athlete, they cannot separate themselves from who they are on and off the court or field. You just can't do that. Like, if you have this mentality of winning, you are going to try to win at all costs. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Tom Brady's diet and his workout regimen and the focus that he's had, but this man is all about football and all about winning, which is why he's been able to do what he's done in his career. So I get where they're coming from, is like, oh, maybe it's like irresponsible if they're doing this, that, and the third, but I really just don't think it's like that. I think Tom Brady does have a game plan, and he has said stuff to his players. Like, how do we that these players aren't quarantining just with their families and with their teammates? How do we not know that they're not wearing masks when they go out everywhere else, or social distancing when they go other places? I'm sure these players are not being reckless and having orgies and crazy parties after the fact of practicing with their teammates. Like, I'm sure Tom Brady's like, okay, we need to work out, we need to do this, but as a teammate, and teammates trust each other more than anybody else in the world, as a teammate, I'm trusting you to not be out in these streets when we're not practicing. And we've talked a million times about this. Quarterbacks don't need to be right all up under their receivers in order to throw the ball to them. They are social distancing. They are doing this right. Like, so I just don't understand the criticism he's getting. He has to, if the NFL is saying we have a season coming up and we're starting training camp on this day, it makes sense to start the players training and working out together. Kyler Murray is doing the same thing and having his whole entire team, well, not his whole team, but pretty much his whole offense out there training and working out together. Like, that's what quarterbacks do. If they want to win, if they want any chance of winning and being great, they have to do that. And if one player is doing it, then the next player has to do it, and the next player has to do it, or you're going to be behind the game by the time training camp or football even starts. Jackie, my question is going to go to you on this one. Do you think Tom Brady deserves the criticism that he's gotten?
So first of all, I'm in shock. I just told the chat to stock up on toilet paper because you have defended Tom Brady, and I think this is a sign that something bad is coming. So once I get over the shock, I guess I have two answers to that question. First and foremost, I'm always pro dragging Tom Brady, regardless of if he deserves it or not. So I think, yes, he deserves every bit of the dragging. But that was definitely my first thought too. Like, if we're pushing forward, if the NFL is hell bent on pushing forward, then you can't tell players to hold back. We either are holding back and we're just going to wait and see, or we're playing. It's not it can't be either or. It's one or the other. I think the only thing I had a problem with though is the quote he said with, the only thing to fear is fear itself kind of thing, because we know he's best buds with Trump, and Trump is just kind of like, first, if it was fake, then it was the heat was going to make it go away. And then if you drink disinfectant, you know what I mean? So I think I feel like people who are co-signing for Trump would also co-sign for Brady, and they're not the smartest group of people sometimes. And I don't think you should tell them that the virus isn't real, because people are still legit out here dying from it. If, hopefully those numbers will reduce, but I don't think you should put out that message. I'm down for him putting out the message that, hey, I'm trying to win, and if we're going to play, we're going to play, period. I'm down for that message. I just don't like the message of, hey, don't be afraid of the virus, because people still out here getting the virus, including in the NFL. Yeah. So that's the only part I didn't like.
So Chris, my next question is going to be for you. Obviously, since Tom Brady has left the Patriots, we have seen a 180, a totally different Tom Brady. He has, been more active on social media. He's done, little clapbacks to people. Are you liking the new rebel Tom Brady? Because right now what he's doing is literally going against what the NFL and NFLPA is suggesting for players to do, which I don't think we've ever seen Tom Brady go against the NFL in any kind of way. So are you liking this new Tom Brady? Do you think it's going to stick? Why do you think this? I mean, obviously Bill Belichick probably has a role to play. That was his daddy basically. Now it's not. So do you think he's changed, into this different, guy, or was Tom Brady kind of always like this and he just was silenced because of the Patriots organization.
Well, Britt, last time I gave Tom Brady some credit for being a rebel because it was very different. I was called soft, and then we dubbed that day soft Chris Wednesday because he finally lashed out and he went in on the Falcons at the time. So I was enjoying that. So I was I'm supporting this, this different side. And I do think that now that he is free of of Daddy Belichick, I think he is acting very different. And to see this was surprising to me. It was very different. I understand that he is definitely a winner, so that doesn't surprise me too much. But the fact that he was openly, disobeying the NFL, I was just like, it was one of those ooh moments. And you're looking over the NFL like, what you gonna do about that? That's your Brady. So I'm here for it. I still hate what team he played for, but I'm here for this new Brady. I hope that this is something we're gonna see more of throughout the season. I love what Jackie did say. I'm still just backing up a little bit on just the whole, because some people are going to take it as like, there is no COVID-19. I am unstoppable. I'm Tom Brady. So I'm with you on that. But in the same breath, I'm all for this wild Florida version of Tom Brady. So yes, I think that this is real. Right. But I just wanted to preface the first part so I don't get called, here goes soft Chris again. I just had to preface that first part. All right, I just wanted to put that out.
Thank you.
There.
I appreciate that. So I actually, it's a good point because he probably does have a lot of followers that are like, oh, see, Tom Brady doesn't believe that the coronavirus exists, and so I don't either. But hopefully, like I said, that the players are still practicing social distancing, quarantining just with themselves and their families and all of that. I hope that that's what's still happening because obviously Florida did get that big spike and they're in Florida. So hopefully that's what he meant by it and not that there's no such thing as COVID-19. So we shouldn't worry about it. But, there are a bunch of idiots in the world. So I don't know how people are going to take it. First and probably last time I will ever say, leave Tom Brady alone, guys. He's not doing anything.
Then it has to be fair then, right? Devin and I talked about it in the chat. If it was soft Chris Wednesday, it's got to be soft Brit Friday. It's only fair.
I knew I talked about it. See, Chris tried to let his slide. I think I'm probably going to say that. Like,
Look, the NFL's on my side. They trying to cut you off because I didn't hear anything you just said. The internet went after you.
Let you say it.
Oh, rude.
You're all
No, I'm done. I hate all of you. End the show, Devin. I'm out of here.
On that note, let's close out this Soft Brit Friday. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, share this video, and tune into the Weekend Zone tomorrow, you guys. And then on Monday, we'll be back again with another live show at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Wash your hands. Be a good person. See you all later.
Don't ever try to mute me again, Leo. I know it was you.
Ooh, yeah. That's hilarious.
So much hate.